Our top story tonight, the family of a murdered Skagit County man worries his killer could get out of prison early because of the threat of coronavirus. Good evening, I'm Joyce Taylor.
And I'm Greg Copeland. A legal group is suing the state, asking for older and high-risk inmates to be released, regardless of the crimes they committed. Here's King 5's Ted Land.
Juror number 9, is this your individual?
10 years ago, a murder case gripped Skagit County and attracted national media attention.
The task, as Michael Oakes took the witness stand, was not going to be easy, and he seemed to know it.
Michael Oakes was accused of killing Mark Stover, a celebrated dog trainer. A jury found Oakes guilty, and a judge sentenced him to 26.5 years in prison.
I'm a little overwhelmed right now. I'm just so happy that we were able to get justice for my uncle.
Julia Simmons, Stover's niece, says her family's old wounds reopened this week when the Skagit County Prosecuting Attorney's Office called and asked them to write a statement explaining why Oakes, the convicted killer, should not be released early.
The fact that he could possibly get out after only 10 years just seems unconscionable.
Columbia Legal Services, a nonprofit organization, is suing the state of Washington on behalf of prisoners, seeking the early release of thousands of inmates at risk of getting coronavirus. Those prisoners include anyone with health conditions and people over the age of 50. Oakes is now in his 50s, and Stover's family fears the lawsuit could set him free.
He doesn't appear to have much of a conscience, and it certainly doesn't appear he's had any crisis of conscience in the 10 years that he's been there.
The Skagit County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says it contacted several victims' families to ask for statements in response to the prisoner release lawsuit. The state right now does not plan to release prisoners like Oakes. It's focused on inmates over 60 who are convicted of nonviolent or drug crimes. Columbia Legal Services wants thousands more released, calling the state's plans woefully inadequate and arguing that sending inmates home is the only way to protect them. For Stover's family, just the thought of giving a convicted murderer a break is impossible.
I really believe people like Michael Oakes are a danger to the community and should absolutely not be released for any reason.
Ted Land, King 5 News.
Meanwhile, Republican senators in Washington, they are asking the governor to rethink his inmate release plan. In a statement today, they told the governor's office the plan violates the state constitution and the state could be on the hook for any new crimes committed by inmates. In order to comply with the Supreme Court to protect inmates, they say the state should instead move them to portable facilities or to emptier facilities with more space.
New tonight, the Office of Corrections Ombuds found Monroe Correctional Complex is failing to keep prisoners and staff safe. There are now 11 inmates and 6 staff members at Monroe who have tested positive for coronavirus. The report found it was nearly impossible for inmates to social distance while walking through hallways, around phones, or in other common areas. It also reported extreme tension between inmates and staff. DOC Secretary Steve Sinclair said the agency is working to make improvements. New tonight, we've learned a Metro bus driver has died from coronavirus, and it comes as many drivers are raising concerns about their safety. They say some routes are crowded, people aren't wearing masks, and many of those on board have no reason to be. Driver Eric Stark was hailed a hero last year for driving passengers to safety in Lake City after being hit by a bullet during a shooting spree, and he is among several drivers who say Metro needs to do a better job of keeping both drivers and passengers who need to take the bus safe.
And I understand that many of them rely on transit to get to the grocery store or the pharmacy. I get that, but it concerns me not just for myself, but for those folks, because they're most at risk and they're mixing on the bus with people who really don't have an essential purpose to be riding the bus.
Tonight, Metro said it is redeploying security staff along crowded routes for what it calls safety and social distancing support, essentially providing passengers information and encouraging them to adhere to health department guidelines regarding coronavirus.
People are losing their life savings. People are losing.
So protesters are now on their way to our state, calling on others to disobey stay-at-home orders. President Trump tweeted his support for protesters in Minnesota, Michigan, and Virginia, adding in a news conference that he believes some state regulations are just too tough. Governor Inslee called the president's tweets illegal and dangerous acts. Inslee also said that his unhinged ranting and calls for people to liberate states could also lead to violence. We've seen this before. Protesters are planning to gather at the Capitol in Olympia Sunday afternoon to rally against the state's stay-at-home order.
The University of Washington Virology Lab has a new test to see whether you have had the coronavirus and since recovered. Now, that test looks for antibodies in your blood. Those are what your body uses to fight off a virus. Doctors with UW Virology say the test will help them better understand the spread and whether people who have recovered can get it again. The test is also a huge step in creating a vaccine.
What's next is really turning the tables on this virus, coming up with therapies for the people who are infected now, and ideally coming up with a vaccine that's going to prevent people from getting infected in the future.
The lab is starting with 4,000 tests a day, but says in a few weeks it hopes to be running as many as 12 to 14,000. A King 5 photojournalist who has recovered from COVID-19 is experiencing some lingering symptoms, and he's not alone. King 5's Britt Moore spoke with a health expert about why some survivors may notice symptoms appearing days, even weeks after their infection.
On March 25th, King 5 photojournalist Tim Hahn shared his story after testing positive for COVID-19.
So it's been 2 weeks after I have shown any symptoms, except for 3 days ago when I randomly got a fever again, a cough, shortness of breath.
Today, Tim describes lingering symptoms days after finally feeling back to normal.
But like I was sluggish. You know, when you have a fever, you kind of feel your body is slow. You got some aches. That came back, and I took my Tylenol. A few hours later, I was better.
University of Washington professor Dr. Paul Pottinger says Tim's experience is not uncommon.
And for some people, it can take quite a bit of time. The immune system has been revved up. People aren't eating right. They're certainly not exercising. They get deconditioned, malnourished. It can really take time for people to recover.
The CDC says people with COVID-19 can stop isolation after they haven't had a fever for at least 72 hours and 7 days have passed since symptoms first appeared. But is that enough?
What you may see is guidance coming from national and local authorities that might say in some circumstances they would want a longer period of time before those people re-enter society.
Dr. Pottinger says there are still so many questions about what lingering symptoms could mean for survivors.
Let's take my temperature and see.
In the meantime, Tim is checking his temperature daily, which seems to still go up and down, and self-isolating until doctors learn more about COVID-19.
I'm going to wait until I get an injection in my arm or something or whatever they're going to be giving out. I mean, every time I go outside, I risk somebody else.
Britt Moore, King 5 News.
Time now for the top 5 on King 5. The state health department reported an additional 293 cases of coronavirus today and 20 more deaths, and that brings our totals to 11,445 infections with 603 deaths. About 91% of patients tested were negative. The Fremont Solstice Parade has been canceled this year because of coronavirus concerns. Organizers are now working to make it a virtual event. The Trump administration has announced $19 billion in aid for U.S. farmers affected by the pandemic. The federal government will use that money to buy food and commodities directly from farms. Those items will be donated to programs in need. New numbers from the University of Washington show the state could begin relaxing social distancing after May 18th. That date represents the best estimate of when the daily infection rate in the U.S. will drop below 1 per 1 million people. Researchers caution, though, that that date is likely to change. And a reminder, Seattle City Parks are open this weekend. The city will have social distancing ambassadors to remind people to keep a 6-foot distance. The parking lots there and the sports fields will remain closed.
Coming up, high school stadiums shining bright for 2020 seniors. Also, are millionaires cashing in on federal aid during this pandemic? We verify.
Our business model is very much tied to the success of the local brewing community.
And a local pizza joint relying on its brew to help business during this stay-at-home order.